You also helped plan the raids on Colonel Qaddafi's terror bases in Libya. How did you miss Colonel Qaddafi and the notorious terrorist Abu Nidal?
Well, I got to remember, Abu Nidal at the time was working for Muammar Qaddafi. His organization was called Islamic Jihad. That name was eventually picked up by the Hezbollah, and they called their initial offering of what is now Hezbollah, Imad Mughniyeh named it Islamic Jihad. So there's been a lot of Islamic Jihad organizations. But it was Abu Nidal's Islamic Jihad that carried out the attacks on the Rome and Athens airports on Christmas. They killed 84 people in those, to include a little girl. And the video of it was just shocking, because her father is already leveled by a grenade, and she's kneeling next to his body, and one of the terrorists walks back up behind her and shoots her in the head on camera, and then waves at the camera. So this is the kind of people that we were dealing with, and there's still a lot of them out there. And actually, General Jim Mattis was right. If you've ever had him here, he'll tell you, he actually said it, some people just need to die. And Mattis was right about it. Well, the effort was to decapitate the terrorist headquarters in Benghazi and Tripoli with Abu Nidal's people and obviously Gaddafi's people. We actually did not know at the time that he was in that tent camp right outside his, but it was that time of year. The raid is carried out. In part, Admiral John Poindexter and I flew to France trying to get Mitterrand to allow us to overfly France, because the F-111s had to come out of Mildenhall, England. And they would cut 900 miles off their round trip if they could just go over that way and come back over France, and Mitterrand turned us down. So the F-111s had to fly all the way around past Gibraltar and then come back up from the south. And the 6th Fleet battle groups, 2 of them, we at the time really did have 15 carrier battle groups. We only have 8 in the water today, and only 4 of them are actually at sea. And that's how bad things have gotten. So the raid is carried off by the Navy from the carriers and the Tomahawks from the subs, and we missed Gaddafi. Gaddafi had, you got to remember what precipitated this is March 27th, they blow up the La Belle Disco and kill a whole bunch of Americans in Berlin. And we knew he'd done it because he got on the phone and congratulated him. Well, in the aftermath of that, they put out a list that had 11 people on it who were targeted for assassination by Abu Nidal. And it was announced in a Syrian newspaper. And when that was announced, one of the networks that shall otherwise remain nameless, CBS, called Larry Speaks and said, "We noticed that there's the name of Oliver North on the list. Who is he?" And we asked, please don't allow them to do that. Please ask them, beg them. The president called CBS and asked them not to put my name on it, because nobody knew who I was. And they put it out anyway. And so the aftermath of that is William Paul Good really does, you know, every once in a while I'd kind of forget who I was when I went into a country, and you got 3 passports. One of them is black, diplomat with my name and picture in it. The other 2 have my picture but not my name. And some days when you're flying back and forth doing, who did I come in as? And so I got very conscious of it. And of course, ultimately, we installed a security system while I was in Tehran at my home. And for that I was indicted for taking an illegal gratuity. Eventually it was, thank God we had a Supreme Court that eventually reversed on it. But that was the consequence of that action.